Speaking to AKTINA TV this week, Councilmember Peter Vallone Jr., a Democrat representing the 22nd Queens District, aggressively defended the New York City's Stop and Frisk practices and expressed his strong opposition to the August 12th ruling by U.S. District Judge Shira Schindlin to install the first ever independent monitor to oversee changes to these practices within the New York City Police Department. Vallone, who will not be running for re-election due to term limits, also talked to AKTINA TV about his campaign for Queensborough President. The citywide primary elections are coming up September 10th, and the general elections will be held on November 5th. Vallone is yet to endorse any of the candidates running for his council seat. Peter, here we are again. Thank you for the hospitality once again. I know you've been very busy as always, but in the news is Stop and Frisk. And I just wanted to get your insight and your thoughts on this issue.
Well, you know I support Stop and Frisk, and you know that I have led the way to reform Stop and Frisk to make it better. I wrote the anti-racial profiling law here in the city. I've been head of the Public Safety Committee, and we've overseen Stop and Frisk, and we've cut it from 600 to 400,000 stops, which is a much more manageable number. But it has to be done because it's the only way to get that gun off the street before the drive-by happens, before the little kid is shot in a sprinkler or the 90-year-old is shot watching TV at home. So just recently, though, the judge ruled against the city and put a monitor on the NYPD. This one judge should not be in control of the NYPD. Ray Kelly should be in charge of the NYPD. There are 10 monitors already. The NYPD is the most monitored police force in the country. It is also the most diverse, it's the most effective, and it's the best trained police force in the country. It doesn't need another monitor. It has 5 DAs, 2 U.S. attorneys, my committee, CCRB, Internal Affairs, the Mayor's Commission on Corruption, you name it. They're looking at the NYPD right now.
So what is this monitor going to do more than the other monitors are doing?
Well, that's a good question. This monitor is supposed to come up with ways to reform Stop and Frisk, as if the rest of us haven't been working on this project for a long time. Other cities don't have Stop and Frisk, some of them, and their crime rates are much, much higher. Detroit, Chicago, for example, they need monitors. People are dying at 10 times the rate that people are dying in New York City and Detroit. 10 times the rate. If we had Detroit's murder rate, we have the lowest murder rate in recorded history of New York City, under 350. If we had Detroit's murder rate, we'd have over 4,400 people dead here in New York City every year. So no one wants to do Stop and Frisk. The police don't want to do it. I don't want to make them do it. They'd rather not be involved in this. But what Stop and Frisk does is it tells police, use your training, and if you reasonably suspect a crime to be committed, you're allowed to approach someone, and you're allowed to ask them questions. And if that raises to a higher level of suspicion regarding a weapon, you can frisk them. It works tremendously. It has some problems. We all know that. We've got to keep reforming it, keep making it better. Let me show you how it's supposed to work. A couple months ago, 2 cops doing undercover work. They see 3 guys walk out of a bar. They notice that those 3 are being followed by another guy. The other guy starts looking at his waistband and doing this. They approach him. He turns around, starts shooting at them. They shoot back. They hit him in his hand and his leg. The cops are fine. And he tells them, yeah, I was going to shoot those guys because we had a problem inside the bar. Now, in another city, without Stop and Frisk, those cops have to sit there and wait till that gun comes out, until those 3 men are dead, and then possibly other people in the area are killed by stray bullets, and then act. In New York City, they use their reasonable suspicion. They see somebody following 3 other people, adjusting his waistband. They approach. They save 3 lives right then, right here in New York City. That's the way it's supposed to work, and we got to make sure it works that way.
What prompted this judge to this decision?
Well, this judge was biased from day one, and a lot of these, New York Civil Liberties Union type groups brought this lawsuit against the NYPD. This is their argument, that because blacks and Latinos are stopped at higher rates than they exist in the population, then necessarily that means this is a racist program. Well, as Ray Kelly has said many, many times, it's unfortunately 95% of the people doing the shooting are blacks and Hispanics, and 95% of the victims are also in those 2 groups. So if you say that people should be stopped based on their percentage in the population, that's ridiculous, because then women would have to be stopped 50% of the time. Women are not doing the shooting, Elena. You know that. If the cops were going to use their reasonable suspicion to stop people, they have to stop the people who are doing the shooting, not people to make to make their quotas. That would be wrong if cops had to stop people based on a quota system. They need to stop people based on their training, and that's what they're doing right now. So these groups wrote suit. They found a very favorable biased judge who actually helped them bring that case before them, said, this is how you get before me. She took the case. Where the city's appealing the decision, and I hope that the next mayor doesn't abandon this appeal.
Now, when you're a guest on AKTINA FM and on AKTINA TV, we always talk about how we can make New York City a cleaner city, how we can make the suburbs and the boroughs cleaner. And I know you have an initiative in the event you are elected borough president. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, well, obviously we need more trash cans. We need more trash pickups. But the city has not done that because there are union rules when it comes to the amount of pickups you can do. There's money problems when it comes to adding more routes and more pickups. So we're working on that. But while we're trying to get more pickups, the community can help. There's a way they can do this. There's a small program right now that the city has that no one knows about, and I want to expand that citywide and improve it. It's called Adopt a Trash Can, and a local business can apply for this. They get bags from the city, and they are now in charge of changing that bag once, twice a day, whenever the bag fills up. And right now they get a little certificate, but I don't think that's enough. I think with my program, first of all, I'm going to make sure every business in Queens knows about this. I'm going to ask them to adopt a can. And then I'm going to put a little plaque on the can. So it's free advertising for them. And it'll say that they've adopted this can. So now if you see a dirty can, you know that the business who adopted it isn't doing their job and needs to come out and change this. And so many business owners stood with me because they want to do this. They understand that, that the city is, until the city does more, it's our responsibility to do what we can to improve our communities. And right now these cans are overflowing, and a lot of it is because people are abusing these cans. They're putting in commercial garbage, they're putting residential garbage. If you go by any of these cans, there are big bags in the cans, and now we can't use it for our coffee cup anymore because it's filled with people's garbage. We need the city to crack down on that. I'm looking to double the fines for putting commercial garbage into one of these cans. People are trying to not have their garbage picked up by a private trash collector by walking around and dumping their trash in these different cans. So it's a multi-pronged approach. Let's go after these people who are filling up these cans, and let's let the local store owners take care of the cans, get some credit for taking care of the cans. Let's all work together to get our streets cleaner.
How about adopting my proposal to start putting signs around the neighborhoods and also on the highways? Please keep New York City clean. Don't throw garbage. I mean, sometimes you need to remind people. They do it in Europe. Believe me, it works.
Yeah, I would like to see keep it clean or get hit with a $500 fine signs, because the city is killing our small restaurants with fines for doing nothing wrong, basically, and I'm working on changing that. Let's go after the people who are really destroying the city. Let's go after the litterers, the people who aren't cleaning up after their dogs. Let's hit them with fine after fine until they stop destroying our neighborhoods. Let's leave our restaurants alone. They're just trying to make a living. They're trying to employ people and pay the taxes, and we've got the city coming after our diners. I can't go to a Greek diner without having the owner sit down next to me and complain and be right. I had one guy, just went to a diner the other morning. He just opened up in Bayside, and he had a coffee machine on the counter, and it was one of those serve your own coffee. They turned the machine because whatever, they liked it better that way. Health department comes in and says a $500 fine because since they turned the machine, it now became a food preparation counter and they needed a sink. So first of all, rather than just coming in and say turn the machine the other way, $500. These people were just starting up a diner. Just come in and help them out. Say next time you need a sink or turn the coffee machine around. But the city is looking for money, and they're just using our small businesses like ATMs. And, we need to stop that. We need to continue to work to stop that. Let's go after the litterers. Let's go after the people who don't clean up after their dog. Let's go after, I don't know who else, but those are two. We can start with those. So
I hope you will adopt my sign proposal, but I know you're running for both.
The city is really anti-sign right now. I can't even get no truck signs anymore. I'm trying to, and they say we don't do signs anymore. Who knows? But when I'm borough president, we can work on it.
Now, and speaking about your bid for the Borough President of Queens, how's the campaign doing? And also, I wanted you to further elaborate the fact that I know you're a Democrat, but you're a conservative Democrat who believes in small government and in a government that truly offers services to its constituents and to the people. So what is your plan, what is your vision as a Borough President of Queens?
Well, I've been honored to represent Astoria and work with you for 12 years now, and I'm term limited out. I'd love to stay here, but I can't. And now I want to do for all of Queens what we together have been able to do for Astoria. And I'm a conservative Democrat, absolutely. And when I'm conservative in that, I like smaller taxes. I want less property taxes on our homeowners. I want less regulation and fines on our businesses, and I want more police and cleaner streets also. But I'm also I get some support from all sorts of areas of the political spectrum. I was just showing you this animal rights group here that loves my animal abuse registry that I'm working on. I'm an environmentalist. We shut down the Paletti plant right here in Astoria, which was the dirtiest in the entire state, with a lawsuit that I started even before I was elected. So I'm independent, by the way. Not only do I ride my Harley around Astoria and Queens, but I'm not the machine candidate. I'm the independent voice for the people of Queens. The voice has been out there when we didn't get our streets plowed, when we had the blackout here in '06, when they came for the Queensborough Bridge and they took it from us. I was the only voice for the people of Queens. So
and you were punished for that.
Oh, I was punished. They took the Peter Vallone scholarship away from the kids at CUNY. They cut my funding here to great groups like yours by 60%. They cut my funding. Because I was the only one with the guts to stand up for Queens. And I'm going to continue to do that as an independent voice, as a voice for safe streets, as a voice for our small businesses. I'm a parent of two girls who went to public schools here. I know what it's like to live in Queens and to raise kids in Queens. I really would be honored if I had the opportunity to continue to do for all of Queens what we did for Astoria.
I know there's a primary coming up, and it's very important for people to understand that a primary, although it's not an election, it's very important because it determines the candidate, right?
Yeah, in most of the races this year, it's going to be determined on September 10th. Everybody has to come out on September 10th. In my race, there will be a Republican running, but it's going to be decided in a Democratic primary. And it's down to two people. Tony Avella is now off the ballot. Very important to know, especially for the Greeks and Bayside. They're going to see his name. They're going to see his name on the ballot, but he has withdrawn from the race. So it's now a two-person race. Tony Avella has withdrawn from the race. Very important to your constituents, because I don't want them to be confused when they see three names and he's one of them. He says, "Don't vote for me. Don't vote for him, not me. You vote for me, you can vote for." So that's very important. There's only two of us left. In the mayoral race, there has to be a runoff. In the controller's race, there has to be a runoff if they don't get 40%. But in my race, in the Borough President race, there's no runoff. It's not a citywide race. It all gets decided on September 10th. There will be a general election, but I can't see how a Republican can beat either of us that win the Democratic primary.
Finally, what other thoughts you would like to share with us today?
It's kind of bittersweet doing interviews like this because we've worked together so long, and I've been so honored to represent Astoria for 12 years. My father did 27 years before that. But hopefully the next time we do an interview, I'll be back here as Borough President and continue to be able to help great groups like yours. It's really sad for me to be leaving the office of council member, leaving this great office. But the future looks bright regardless of what happens in this election for the people of Queens County. We are the greatest county and the greatest city and the greatest country in the world, and I want to continue to work with you and the people of Queens to make it even better.
Well, we wish you the very best.
Thank you, Elena. You too.